Hello again from Fired Up. I'm Bob Irwin, host for the show. We're broadcasting on Fired Up here from Rigel Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada. This show is about guns, related politics, and self-defense issues. Fired Up is on our website, firedupwithbobirwin.com, and the American Guns and Glory Network. Also separately on YouTube and numerous other media. A new show is posted every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Our audio feed is rebroadcast for radio listeners Saturdays at noon on the Nevada Talk Network. Check out KELY1230.com for a station in your area. Questions or comments, you can send me an email at bob@firedupmail.com. Again, that's bob@firedupmail.com. Or leave a message on my office recorder, 702-257-1060. That's 702-257-1060. If you don't leave contact information, I can't call you back. So if you do leave your contact information, I'll respond by text or telephone. And I'm the only one here, so I don't have to read the part about my guests can be reached at. There are several hundred defensive uses of firearms every week in the United States, rarely truthfully covered by any mainstream media. We always present a few of those for our listeners' education. Most of those are good shootings. Some are questionable, a couple today. Sometimes they're just plain wrong, but they're all educational for firearms owners, for those of you who keep a firearm in your home or carry one for self-defense. A reminder that individual incidents are generally adjudicated under local law, so the advice given here might not apply to listeners in different jurisdictions. And more importantly, stories are often paraphrased for clarity by me, translating it from police jargon, lawyer speak, or regional accents into standard American English. The incidents are as reported, except the names are omitted. The second story on today is selection of judges in Clark County, which we're going to get into. I'm just warning you ahead of time. I'm going to tell you who I'm voting for, and you can make your own choice. This first story, multiple media outlets reported on April 29, 2020, in Sunol, California, Alameda County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Ray Kelly said that at 11:15 a.m. Tuesday, deputies responded to a report of gunfire. The homeowner called the sheriff's office saying he had interrupted a burglary attempt on his car at his home in the 32,800 block of Palomares Road, Long Road. The homeowner said he began shooting at the suspects when they tried to run him over. The suspected burglars then drove away. The suspects were arrested in Union City after a pursuit by Alameda County Sheriff's deputies. The suspects, a male age 35 who was the driver of the getaway car, and his 31-year-old female passengers were not hit by his gunfire. The male suspect was booked in the Santa Rita jail on suspicion of burglary, assault with a deadly weapon. That was for trying to hit the owner with his vehicle. Because he is on felony probation for burglary, he's being held without bail. The female suspect was booked on suspicion of burglary and was being held in lieu of $50,000 bail. Now, comments here, obviously, giving what I gave you, this appears to be only a property crime until the resident tried to intervene with gunfire. Certainly trying to stop a burglary of a car is a reasonable thing to do, but placing himself in a position where the suspects can run him over was clearly a tactical mistake. It appears no bystanders were hit by the shots, so this may work out. The resident certainly should consult an attorney before making any more statements. Property crime, no gunfire. We're going to pause here for a brief word for some of our friends and associates, and we'll be right back. Freestyle Martial Arts, located at Jones and Russell here in Las Vegas. You can reach them at 702-551-9009. That's 702-551-9009. CCS Gunsmithing. Chris Eifelt, the man who does all the NRA help, he's at 2216 South Rainbow Boulevard near Sahara. He can be reached at 702-365-1732. Once again, 702-365-1732. Jerry Creed, a trust attorney. If you have a firearms trust or need one, this is your guy. You can reach Jerry at 702-806-7777. That is 702-806-7777. CCW Maggie is found all over the internet. You can reach her by phone at 702-375-5900. That's 702-375-5900. All sorts of firearms training, ladies only classes. She is the best of the best. Call CCW Maggie. And while we were here in this episode, we've got the election coming up for the primary elections and some of the races here for judges and county commissioners and so forth and so on. Most of the questions I've been getting are choices for judge because people don't really know who these guys are or women are. So the judges I'm listing here are my personal recommendations on the primary ballot. Some are picked because I personally know them. Some from my experience appearing in their courts as an expert witness. Win or lose, I still have an opinion as to whether the judge looked at everything correctly and applied the law. Others are chosen on recommendations from attorneys that I trust who have appeared in their courtroom. Bear in mind, all judicial offices are nonpartisan, so they may not advertise their party affiliation, which is the first question I normally get from voters. So I will tell you ahead of time, most of the ones I picked are actually registered Republicans. A few are Democrats or independents. These judges appear to make decisions based on the rule of law, the constitutions of the United States, and the Constitution of Nevada. I should also say in many contests, more than one competent, qualified judge is running. So I made my personal decision based on very little difference between the judges. But, you know, like a judge, you have to choose. So that's what I got. Appearing on my vote for list does not mean that I agree with every decision that particular judge has ever made. And I'm going to digress here just for a second and talk about that issue. Some of the judges are campaigning against other judges that say, well, you know, in this case, he did this and that, and you're getting a snippet in an advertisement that's a sentence and a half long. Real cases fill 7 or 8 banker boxes full of stuff at minimum. So these are people I believe are making reasonable decisions and applying our constitutions. So here we go. On the Nevada Supreme Court, Department B, Christina Pickering is my choice. In Department D, Supreme Court, Doug Herndon. For County District Court, on the ballot is Department 2, I'm for Richard Scotty. On Department 3, Adam Gans. Department 4, Phil Auerbach. Department 5, Terry Coffing. Department 15, Joe Hardy Jr., who I just met last week in this very studio, actually. Department 19, William Kephart. Department 21, Jacob Reynolds. Department 23, Jim Sweeten. Department 24, Mickey Bond. Department 28, Jim Kavanaugh. The family court is going to be a little more complicated for most everybody because very few of us deal with family court. I've only dealt with a couple of cases there. In Department A, William Voy, I think, is doing a fine job. Department I have no recommendation on the judges that are running. Department J, Rena J. Hughes. That's Rena G. Hughes. Department M, Mandy McKellar. Department P, Mary Perry. Department S, I have no recommendation among those judges. Department T, Jason Stoffel has been recommended highly. Department U, Don Throne. Department V, Jack Fleeman. Department Y, Carrie Molnar. And Department Z, Romeo Perez. If you got all that, that'll be on the website as a separate thing so you can look it back up. We're going to break one more time for a word from some of our associates. Don't go away. Attorney Donald J. Green, a common guest of mine on Fired Up. He can be reached at 702-409-8239. He specializes in gun case litigation. He is your man, Don Green, 702-409-8239. At Ricardos Restaurant, where you'll usually find me eating lunch every day if I can get there, they're at the corner of Flamingo and Decatur here in Las Vegas. You can reach them at 702-227-9100. That's 702-227-9100. And Battlefield Vegas, my new kind of home for this show. They're on Circus Drive, directly behind the Circus Hotel and Casino. You can find them there with CCW classes and an amazing place for gun rentals, everything you could possibly imagine. Check out, if you're in town as a tourist, check out battlefieldvegas.com. And we are back. A word about those friends and associates. As many of you will know, Ricardos Restaurant, which was one of the lists in there, is now closed. Bob, his name is Bob, also chose, because of a lot of financial conditions, to close the business rather than try to reopen, given the circumstances. Battlefield Vegas, where I send everybody to get my books and hats and shirts, is on hiatus. They are using the lockdown time to re-up all their equipment. The way that place runs, it's impossible to open it just a little bit. It has to be open all the way or not. So they're moved my shirts and hats and books to their sister location, Lock and Load in Henderson. You can find them in Henderson, Lock and Load Gun Shop. So, and a couple of the others are operating on very, very thin ice. So I suggest you call before you just drop in on them to see that they're in business and doing business. Okay, this final story comes from KTVK3 TV. It's a CBS affiliate. Reported on May 9th, 2020 in Tempe, Arizona. A police spokesperson said there was a witness to a hit-and-run crash. The wreck happened around 5:15 in the afternoon on Scottsdale Road at Playa del Norte Drive. The crash involved a black Dodge Dart and a white Hyundai. Right after the wreck, 5 people got out of the Hyundai and ran away. They left the vehicle at the scene. A 22-year-old witness stopped to help the driver of the Dodge Dart. He then left to try to follow the people who ran away from the collision. He was able to catch up with 3 of them. They're all on foot now. He was able to catch up with 3 of them. That's when police say he removed and displayed a firearm from his waistband and told the 3 to sit on the curb while he called police. As the witness was calling 911, a 17-year-old boy who had also fled from the Hyundai arrived back at the parking lot. The witness turned his attention toward him, displayed his handgun, and told him to sit down with the rest of them. Police say as the 22-year-old turned his attention back to the first three, the 17-year-old removed a revolver from his pants pockets and shot the witness, 22-year-old, in the face. He was rushed to a local hospital but was later pronounced dead. Responding officers caught up with the teens and were able to detain them. The teen who shot the 22-year-old tried to discard a backpack with the gun in it by throwing it into Tempe Town Lake, but the police were able to recover it. That 17-year-old shooter has now been charged as an adult with murder, tampering with evidence, possession, a minor in possession of a weapon, possession of marijuana, possession of a narcotic drug, hit and run, and driving on a suspended license. He was not a good guy to start with. This story is an absolute tragedy. The young man was trying to do the right thing. Obviously, the best choice would have been to remain a witness and let law enforcement do the chasing. There's no expressing anything I can say that's going to make this sound better or right. I don't want to criticize him for his actions. He really was trying to do the right thing, and he gave up his life. I've often advised people on this show to let law enforcement do the chasing. They have lots of friends with guns. They got lots of help. They got helicopters. They got dogs. And they got free lawyers, at least government-paid lawyers. This young man losing his life at that age is, the words can't express it. There's a note on this story, a website, azfamily.com, it's AZ and the word family.com, has information on a GoFundMe page set up to help the family. I'd appreciate if you would follow up on that. I can't imagine what it's like to lose somebody like that. Anyway, you can check out our recent shows at firedupwithboberwin.com. It contains several dozen recent episodes. Please patronize our friends and supporters. Hopefully, most of them will be back in business. We'll be back next Thursday on our website, firedupwithboberwin.com, on YouTube at the American Guns and Glory Network, numerous other websites and television and radio stations. When you're watching any media, just click on subscribe, and new shows will be sent to your computer or your phone automatically. Please forward these broadcasts to your friends. Our logo merchandise, hats, shirts, and books are available now at Lock and Load in Henderson. Remember, the audio portion is rebroadcast on the Nevada Talk Network all across Nevada, Saturdays at noon. Check out those stations at KELY1230.com. I thank you so much for supporting Fired Up. We're in terribly turbulent times yet. Hopefully this election coming up will keep the conservatives in America's management. Be safe out there. Take care.